Great news, guys. Unbelievable news. I mean, the coast is clear. Nothing is wrong in society anymore. We are good to go. The money's not broken, and credit and liquidity will be abundant and available for all people. The Federal Reserve, this is on CNBC, the Federal Reserve says the 23 biggest banks weathered severe recession scenario in stress test. Oh, it's kind of like the models, right? The climate models that Greta and a top climate scientist told us the Earth was going to blow up in 5 years, which that passed like a week or so ago. Well, the Earth didn't blow up. Literally nothing happened. It's like Al Gore's countdown clock. Rush Limbaugh used to have the clock. He said it in like whatever it was, late 90s or 2000, that campaign. He said by 2009, the world will blow up if you don't do anything with it. And if you don't fix climate change, because of models, projections, which you can put anything into a model and make it look like whatever you want. What is the Mark Twain line? There's lies, damn lies, and there's statistics, something of that nature. You can make stats look whatever you want. When you're putting in, when we have Tom and Jerry doing the stats and putting in, who knows what's going into these models, and it's science, so settled science. Science is never settled, and you always have politicians like, oh, it's settled science, and it's just, if you're a flat earther, you're a climate denier if you don't believe in their mental models, the mental gymnastics they're doing, and the whatever they put into their stats. I mean, it really is a weird world. Like this, for example, we talk about cognitive dissonance a lot, right? Question everything with boldness, trust but verify. This is the world we have to live in. We have abdicated that responsibility. We've abdicated our due diligence for 100 years. We've just let the media tell us what we want, just blast us with propaganda, and do whatever they damn well please. And the politicians have gotten away with everything because we haven't held anyone accountable. We haven't done our own homework. We haven't thought critically. We haven't questioned boldness. The Federal Reserve says the 23 biggest banks weathered severe recession scenario. Well, you might have just remembered that a couple of the biggest banks in the country just blew up. So, and I think they're in the teens, maybe the 16th biggest bank, stuff like that. They just blew up. Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, they just blew up, guys. They just blew up. Now, there's other videos we've done, other blogs we've done about the attack on crypto and the Wall Street, trying to get retail out of crypto so they can come in and front run Wall Street or front run retail and get their money. And that's what they care about. That's all they care about. And that's probably what a lot of the government cares about too, is getting their money, getting their taxes, things like that. And that's what they want. But you just have to, when you see headlines like this, my whole point is, I learned from a very young age. My mother would tell stories about my father, and she would just say, I thought I married a crazy guy. Like when they got married in the early 80s, and she'd be like, we'd be watching the television, and he'd be like, they just contradicted themselves. Like he's like yelling at the TV, and he's like, Walter Cronkite just said one thing, and then the reporter a second later said the exact opposite thing. They just totally contradicted themselves. And this was just over and over and over. So I grew up in the late 80s and early 90s, and I grew up with this world of questioning things and always trying to critically think, right? And being taught to critically think and use our higher faculties, or intuition, reason, perception, will, imagination, and memory, and using that because we're the only beings that we know of that have those higher faculties. So instead of just going along and just mindlessly going along and going about our lives and punching out, getting on the rat wheel, watching our fantasy football teams, watching sports play out, and the Kardashians, instead of just mindlessly doing that, the whole point of this, and the reason that I rag on people doing that all the time, which, again, we have to have times to escape and be with our family and kind of get away from life, whatever, it is what it is. But, your life could be so much more abundant and prosperous, and you could have so much more time to spend with your family and to spend on the activities you like. Maybe you don't even have that job anymore, the job that you hate. You don't even have that anymore because it doesn't even exist, and you have so much wealth and abundance because you took a little bit of time to be plugged in, to get active in your local community, building things with your hands, value creation. You saved in an asset instead of saving a liability. You saved in Bitcoin, for example, instead of saving in liabilities, the dollar that is going down in value over time. These little changes, these little tweaks and questioning things, instead of just taking media headlines and the take that they want to give you and shove down into your brain, instead of, we have to be the gatekeepers. we have to be the gatekeepers of what goes into our mind and what we believe and what we don't believe and what we trust and how we verify and everything here. Trust but verify everything I'm saying, until, prove me wrong, prove me wrong. And, I know, not everyone here knows, but I have a great track record, and I've documented it through videos for years. I've documented it in my journal that I keep here at home. And that's why I'm doing more of this now. And I've had to come out now on TikTok and my blog and YouTube channels and more content, because I've got a little bit, I'm trying to work on humility as a male, as an alpha male, being athletics my entire life and having an ego and used to playing hockey and being dominant and physically asserting my dominance. That's the perspective I come from. So that's why I tend to be very opinionated. I try to put the work in. I work out still. I have an example to set for my 4 children. And these are this is the ethos I espouse and I aspire to be continually, daily, to make myself better. And I want to show my children, show the people around me and say, hey, I put the work in. I have a track record of 20 years of my eating habits, my workout habits, my working on my mind, my higher faculties, of working on my investing, working on my business, being plugged into politics and being an active member of this community and pushing humanity forward instead of detracting and being just a consumer. I want to be a producer. I want to push things forward. I want to be the best version of myself. As I want to get to the gate someday, I want to get to the pearly gate someday. And God asked, what did you do for my kingdom? I want to say I raised these children, and the children you loaned to me, these are the children, this is what I did for them. This is how I raised them, and this is how I helped humanity. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters, right? Your spirit's all that matters. You're not taking anything with you. You can, there's nothing. There's literally nothing. You can look around you right now. Look around. There's nothing you take with you. Zero. From dust you came, to dust you shall return. And it's hit me really hard the last few years, and realizing, having family members die, and really starting to understand, wow, you can have 10 Lamborghinis and getting financial freedom through real estate. That's a great goal, Brandon. Like, I'm glad I embarked on that journey. But what does it matter? I have this wealth. Who else has the wealth? That my tenants have a great place to live in. Okay, that affects one family. My family gets to enjoy the passive income, stuff like that. Okay, that affects one family, maybe a couple families, we'll say, or something like that. I get to do cool things or fun things with them. But not many other people really get to benefit, really. So that's where the whole change came to. What can I do to truly help humanity? And it was, wow, if we fix the money, it fixes the world. Now, instead of worrying about banks collapsing, I've got my Bitcoin and gold storage. I could care less. The banks would all collapse. Part of me hopes they do, quite honestly. I don't want destruction for people. I know in one hand, that's how a lot of people learn, is they learn through pain and suffering. And that's how humans are built in a way, but I don't want that for people. I want merit to play out and accountability and responsibility to go up, but I don't want people to hurt at the same time. So how do you fit this dynamic? This is why I educate. This is why I have been compelled to go and continue documenting and teaching and educating all the things that I've done over the 20 years that have made me very successful. God willing, I continue to be successful, and I'm trying to do my best to prepare for what's coming. If we none of us know what's coming, and hopefully I will be successful. Maybe I won't. Maybe that's not God's plan. Maybe I'll be like, I don't know, dude, you got blown up. I have no idea. Maybe there's a predator drone that'll drop on me someday. Who knows? Because you're speaking truth, right? And that's what happens. People that tend to speak truth, you don't have the easiest life, but that's fine. That's fine. That's God's calling for me. And I have a feeling that's probably why you're here as well. I'm not going to attract like the Kardashian watcher, for what we're talking about here. The people that come here, you that come here, you're here for truth. You're here, you want the red pill. You want to be told the truth, and you want to find the truth. And we're all searching for truth, and we're doing that together. There's no other reason to be here. It's to make your soul the best it can be, and your person, your being, the best it can be. And to put it all on the field, to put it all on the ice. At the end of the day, when you're in your deathbed, say, wow, I gave it my all. I did everything I could. I lived the life, and I fought the good fight. And that's it. That's literally my mission. And if I can help people along the way, if I can serve people, if I can bring them closer to truth, or at least questioning, and like Zach, my buddy, says, there's truth. You can ignore truth, you can accept truth, or you can submit to truth. And submission to truth is where we want to be. It's understanding there is truth, there's objective truth, and we need to use that to our advantage. You don't want to be the other two. You don't want to ignore it and just, whatever, out of gravity. No, it's not. That doesn't work. Or just accepting it and just going back to watching sports again, which, again, watching sports is fine. But what are we doing to further ourselves? And are we droning on like robots in our screens all day? Or are we furthering ourselves and bettering ourselves and providing value to society? So the Federal Reserve, I went off on a little bit of a tangent. I didn't expect to really go down that rant, to be quite honest. But let me know if you resonate with that. Because again, that's what all my content is about, all of it. So if you don't like it, turn it off. If you don't want to get better, turn it off. This ain't the place for you. If you don't give a care in the world about what's going on with humanity and other people and your family, then turn it off. This ain't gonna be the channel for you. But if you resonate with this, if you care about these goons lying to you just over and over again and just smoking you in the face with propaganda, and you not realizing, and us not realizing, we're in an information war, we're in an information fight, a cultural fight, and we're getting just body blows and just uppercut, haymakers to the face, and we're just like, oh, I'm not in a war, I'm not in a fight, no, and just keep denying it. Well, that's ignoring truth. And we need to submit to truth. We need to understand where we are in this war, in this fight, and we need to use it to our advantage. So goons like this lying when we literally just had a bunch of banks collapse that were big banks, huge banks, and they're like, oh, they're good in our stress test, in our video game we played. Who believes this stuff? This is the top article on CNBC. This is to quell the fear of the normie, of the average person. We are not average. None of us are average. Humans are not average. Humans are humans. God's highest form of creation. Let's start living up to that billing. Please share this out because the algorithm hates truth. I was just talking to a friend of mine. We were just trading some Bitcoin trading cards together, actually. Again, another thing that we're working on and doing and helping this company to spread education and spread youth education and helping people learn about freedom and liberty and free markets and capitalism and Bitcoin and sound money and tyranny and on and on and on. This is why I'm here. So I appreciate you. Please share this out because the algorithm hates truth. Trust but verify. Question everything is boldness, even the existence of God himself. And this is not financial advice. It's freedom advice. Pure and simple. Appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one.